All right. Hello, everybody. I think this is welcome to session 20. So, yeah, we're going to continue to work on Unity, and we are going to work on our region and hopefully have a name today for our region that Unity is set within. So, hello, everybody. I'm David, and I'll be with you for the next couple of hours, and we're gonna work on our fantasy ground setting. So I'm looking forward to it. It's been fun. We've actually in just a couple of sessions we've actually got quite a bit done. This week will probably be the last week of general brainstorming, and then next week I will start kind of putting everything together, fleshing everything out, and putting it on what we have from Josh for our region map and our town map. So yeah, I'm definitely coming along. You know, this is definitely a long-term work in progress. So, but we've actually got quite a bit done, especially last week. Last week was the first week that the show was kind of taken back an hour for a total of 2 hours, and it's a lot more beneficial for me for creating content to work on this 2 hours a week instead of just one. So yeah. So if you folks have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them into the chat, and I'll answer them when I get to a pretty good stopping point. So Cylindrical, to answer your question, of course there's a stream today. There's a stream just about every Friday, and if there wasn't, the stream wouldn't be live. So definitely a show today. Hey John, hey Belle, how's it going? David, how's it going? Chad over on Facebook. Drake, what's going on? Always good to see everybody hang out. So, all right. So where we kind of left off last week was kind of fleshing out the town of Unity. And the town of Unity is actually in really good shape. I was hoping to have around 20 locations maximum, and looks like we have 19, which is spot on. But as I'm thinking during the week, I'm thinking we have everything. We have everything from a couple of different taverns and inns. We have our constable's office, our law and order, which is going to have our jail, etc. Maybe even a little small courtroom for justice. We've got our smithy or stable. We've got magic items and other gadgets. We're going to have a town market. We're going to have a place of worship for multiple deities. We're going to have an empty building, which is going to be basically a reward for your players, and then they can do with it as they wish. There's a general store, a grocer with a bakery and butchery, sort of like a super Walmart, but not with, yeah, sort of like a big old grocery store, I would imagine. Every town needs one, right? Especially with the fresh baked goods. We have a fishery. Let's see. We also have the Fantasy Grounds Academy was added last week. I think that was a great idea. So the Fantasy Grounds Academy is going to be located in the town of Unity, and I believe they're going to have a couple of locations around our region as well. We're going to have a town fountain and a well. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. We'll probably do. I got a couple of ideas already what I'll do with that. We're going to have a thieves guild, possibly. It will be an underground, sort of like a secret network, I guess, sort of like a maybe something like the Zentarum or something like that. We're going to have a production mill. Got to have a barrel and cart maker for all this production going on in Unity, and a theater and amphitheater. So I came up during the week. I had one idea that I really wanted to do, and I want to add a bathhouse to Unity. And I'm going to put this down, and I want to dedicate this to one of my players that has been around with me for a long time. And I'm talking like 5-6 years. And if any of you have watched any of my games, I have a character that everybody adores called Omi Barton, and I'm gonna actually make him an NPC in Unity. I may also make another one of my friends as well that was one of my players for many years. Actually, Omi Barton and 010, they both came into one of my games at the same time about, I'd say, 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And 010 is a sorcerer and Omi Barton was a bard. So we're gonna have a bathhouse. I'm gonna put a bathhouse in Unity. That'll be location number 20 within the interior of Unity. And I'm going to call it the Rub-a-Dub Bathhouse. The Rub-a-Dub Bathhouse. And this is going to be owned by, the proprietor will be Omi Barton. And then I'll get with my friend Will, and I'll kind of flesh everything out with the bathhouse as well. Yeah, we had a really fun encounter one time in a town that I had created, and yeah, that was pretty fun. That came to my mind, and I'm like, you know what, that would be really cool. So, all right, so that is what I wanted to do first, was kind of add the bathhouse, which I think that kind of really rounds out the town of Unity, to be honest. I mean, this is going to be a very well put together town, and I really appreciate everybody's input last week as well. So next, I want to mention a great idea that Bell had last week, and that is to do a giveaway or 2 or 3. And the giveaway will be you, the viewer, will get to name an NPC, and I'll see if we can get some artwork for you. I don't think there will be a problem with that. So we'll get you like an avatar picture made of your NPC. And so the giveaway is going to be, if you win in our social media giveaway, then you will get to create your NPC like I mentioned, and then you'll get to have one of the locations inside of Unity, or if you want your NPC to maybe be in one of the other smaller towns that I'm going to have in our region, which I plan on probably having maybe 3 or 4 really small towns. But Unity will be the central hub of our region, which our region will be about probably 250 miles maximum by 250 miles maximum, north to south, the east and west, respectively. And you can get a general idea of what this region map will look like if you go to Google Images and do a search for Nentir Vale, Nentir Vale. Nentir Vale was the default setting for Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition. It was in all of the core books, all of the D&D Essentials that came out towards the end of the lifespan of D&D 4e. And ever since 4e was out, I always just loved that little setting. It was, I believe it was created by Mike Merles. And instead of having a massive 3,000 mile by 3,000 mile area like Faerun or the Forgotten Realms, which is usually the default setting for, you know, every D&D edition, I really liked the Nintervale because it was very short, compact, and there was a lot of content within that 250-ish mile radius of the Nintervale. So I always told myself, you know, that's a great idea. And if I ever decided to, you know, create content and put my thoughts into words, and I would do a smaller region like that. And yeah, that's what I would do. So yeah, you'll be able to take one of the locations that isn't already taken in the town of Unity, or if you want your NPC to be a hero somewhere around our region or our little world, or if you want to be a villain, you can do that as well. So I think that's a good idea. We'll come up with something, some type of system for the giveaway, probably in the next week or two. But I think that's a good idea for sure. So I really appreciate Paulette coming up with that idea. I think that's amazing. Plus it lets us give back to the community as well. So, all right. So I mentioned the possible giveaway, and today, now that I've got the Rub-a-Dub bathhouse on the town of Unity, we're not going to be working on the town of Unity. We will be kind of working on the region that Unity is located in. Because now that we pretty much have the town of Unity created, the base template for Unity, and sort of like the small little outskirt area of Unity, I want to start working on the region. So the first thing I want to do is come up with a regional name for our region. That's a work in progress. So I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to ask you folks for some help. So what do you think a great name would be for a region for our setting? And I would like it, try to keep it Fantasy Grounds related. So of course, obviously our town is called Unity. I mean, I think that was just a no-brainer to name the town Unity. I mean, just a no name. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. So let's come up with some names for our region. All right. And then as we're kind of putting some ideas into our chat here that everybody can see now, I'll go ahead and I'll answer a couple of questions that are in chat. So Todd Waldman, is there any settings you can change to reduce how much computer power Fantasy Grounds uses? No, there's no settings. The program over the last year it's been released has been optimized really almost to the max. So you shouldn't be getting a lot of CPU usage when you have Fantasy Grounds running. I don't know, maybe is your computer up to spec for minimum requirements and all that stuff? What OS are you using? Are you on Windows? Are you on Linux? Are you on Mac? We've seen some users that are using Linux have a little bit more power usage. But other than that, I haven't heard any reports on PC or Mac or anything like that. So Drake, you thought the audio was messed up, but it wasn't. It was your settings, huh? Bell asks, will the bathhouse have spoons? I'm sure there will be something spoon related. Drake, can you get your horse a bath at the bathhouse too? A drive-through of sorts? Probably not. I would probably say you can get your horse taken care of at the stable, because we actually have a dedicated stable in Unity. A drive-through is a great idea though. Slayer's Realm, how's it going? Hey, what's up, Joseph? Joseph is one of our employees here at Fantasy Grounds, and Joe's asking to be the town chaplain by day and moonlight as Jodith the Necromancer at night in the secret hidden temple. I like that, Joe. That's a great idea, Joe. And we'll get together and we'll talk about that for sure. But I definitely love that idea. I love it. By day, he's the town chaplain, and by night, he is the necromancer. Nice. I love it. Your avatar is awesome, Joe. I love the avatar. So Drake's saying there's a smaller, very rural town not too far away named Classico Village. It's got a primitive feel to it. Well, that's something that we could do, Drake, because you are one of our VIP backers. So I'm going to give all of our VIP backers an opportunity to come up with something also in our regional setting maps. So, and also Unity if you want it there. So I gotta I'm also taking a couple notes here as well, so that's why my talking may be a little bit sporadic, but I am here. Let's see. Slayer's Realm says the mayor of villain in the town of Division. That's a good look. I like that too. That's a great idea. Slayer's Realm. Kind of the opposite of Unity, right? Division. I like that idea. Maybe we can come up with something small little town. Maybe, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Let's see. Virtutera. Would that be the town name there, Drake? VTT for short? I like it. Yeah, I like it. So you're talking about the region, right? Virtutera? Man, that sounds like an evil place, doesn't it? VTT for short. I love it. Slayer's Realm, can you gift apps from the Foundry or the gold coins from the Forge? No. Not that I know of, unless that has been added within the last couple of days. No, I don't think. No, you can't do that. However, you can go to our forum, Slayer's Realm, and we do have a Fantasy Grounds Forge wanted, a list for people that would like to see features added in the future, and feel free to post your idea there. So yeah, definitely. Just go to the Fantasy Grounds forums and then just scroll down and find the Fantasy Grounds Forge House of Healing, and then inside of the Forge House of Healing there is a wish list for future features. So Simple DM, what's going on, Simple DM? I know who you are. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have caves, ruins, mountain ranges, a couple of lakes. All those type of regional features we'll have on a regional map, Slayer, that's for sure. You know what, Chad? That's a great idea. The grounds of fantasy. I like that. I think that's a great idea. So I'm gonna put that down. I'm just gonna take a note of that. But I do like that. That's a great idea. I also thought of a couple of names that I'll kind of announce here in a little bit, but I kind of like the grounds of fantasy. That's pretty cool. So any other ideas? Nice, Drake. The grounds of fantasy on the planet of Virtutera. Nice. Hey Dan, what's going on? Good to see you, Dan. Hey to you as well. Oh, the wife waits. Yeah, don't keep the wife waiting. You got Unity? Awesome, man. Awesome, Dan. Yeah, it's definitely the future of Fantasy Grounds, that's for sure. Did you pick it up when it was on sale? Hopefully you did, because I don't think it'll be on sale for probably until the big end of the year sale. So awesome. All right, so I kind of like that name. I also have Davison Land for Doug. I mean, it's kind of corny, but that's what games are, right? You're supposed to have fun. Things can be corny, stuff like that. Yeah, you got the upgrade deal, and then you should have got another discount if the license was still on sale. So, I mean, you could have saved if you did. I mean, you'll get, if you got Unity Class, I mean, if you got Classic Ultimate, then yeah, you would have got just by default 50% off. But if you would have got it during the sale price would have also stacked. So Dougland, that's pretty good. How about Dougland's Folly? Dougland's Folly. That would be pretty cool. We'll kind of put down Dougland's Folly as well. So we've got some information already for our regional map, and we're actually making really good time. So we'll spend about the next hour or so working on some of the features of our map. Maybe the grounds of fantasy or Dougland's Folly. So somebody had also came up with the name Fantasia, which is pretty good. I mean, obviously fantasy grounds, fantasy games. So I'm going to put the grounds of fantasy up here. And this is all brainstorming stuff. This story journal that I have up here, this is all ideas. And then starting next week, I'll start doing more of the actual construction of the town with, the base map. Also kind of maybe fleshing out more of the actual locations. I know that Derek was interested in doing the item store. I'll get with Joe. He can be the caretaker of. He could be like the caretaker of the graveyard or something, and then we'll, get him going with his secret hidden temple, maybe with the evil deities like we had talked about with our places of worship last week. We want to have something that will, cater to all of the different, the religions and deities and stuff. So I think, having the evil temple of worship, maybe underground, or maybe some in some hidden cave somewhere in the region or something like that. I think that's a great idea, and I'll get with Joe on that. So I know that I'm going to keep Doug as the leader or the jefe of our town of Unity. So I think that's good. I'd like to have John, or Moon Wizard is his form's name. I like to have him like the sheriff or the lawman of Unity. And yeah, we have some. I got some info from Paulette, so we'll work Paulette in. We'll also work in. I believe that our one of our newest employees, Joshua, has gotten me some information. Brad has gotten me information on his bard, Brad the Bard. So he will be a mainstay of Unity as well. Carl has gotten me some information from an old character that he played in the 90s, I believe. And he just gave me the character sheet and he goes, "Do what you want with it." And I was like, all right, this is cool. So I'll be working his character in as well. So yeah, next week we'll just do some more brainstorming with mostly with the region, because we haven't really done much with the region. Now Unity, like I mentioned, it's really nice. It's in good shape, and the outskirts of Unity are in really good shape as well. So yeah, just for working on this for a couple weeks, it's coming along really well. And there's a lot of work to, creating content. There is a lot of work, and I'm going to have to do a lot of this offline and off stream, just so I can get everything, fully fleshed out, so I can edit it, I can proofread it, and then we'll just basically brainstorm on the streams. I'd like to work on this 3 times a month, and plus once we have the region more, with more locales and, stuff like that, then we'll go ahead and we'll kind of start working on some adventures and stuff. But then again, I'll be working on adventures and also hook points and stuff as I'm working on the town of Unity, where I'm fully fleshing it out, because our employees and hopefully our VIP backers will also give me some adventure ideas as well for what they envision their NPC to be. So yeah. So we got the grounds of so I'm going to put the grounds of fantasy up here. I like that. We have Douglin's Folly. You know what? I actually really like Douglin's Folly as well. That's a great name. Let's see. Yeah, take it easy, Dan. Good seeing you, man. Yeah, I saw that you emailed me, Dan. In case you're still here, and I'll shoot you an email, Dan, about that. Let's see. Simple DMs is Fantasia, not me, but cool with me. Drake's is the Middleton Mines. It's kind of got a ring to it. You know what? Yeah, because I've got my NPC my piece of art. His name is Snaggletooth. He has always been a villain in my campaigns that I've ran in the past. And in fact, I haven't done anything with Snaggletooth in probably several years now. So maybe I'll definitely do something with Snaggletooth, but I haven't really thought about what I want to do with him yet. But let's see, Middleton Mines. So we have our quarry and mining. I'll just kind of put the Middleton Mines here. That's kind of cool. I mean, it sounds it's kind of got a ring to it. So I'll just kind of put the Middleton Mines question mark. Simple DM. 4 stars, Middleton Mines. Bell says a secret tunnel from the Knot House Tavern. That's possible. That's for sure. I don't even think we have any names for our taverns yet. But I believe, Bell, you wanted to stick with being one of the barmaids in the tavern, if I'm not mistaken. That's what you wanted to stay with. Chad, what's going on, Chad Hill over on Facebook? What about a tannery on the far outskirts of town? I think that's a great idea because we don't have, well, we kind of have a tannery with Dominic. I'm kind of making him the super Walmart of crafting, to where you'll be able to have all of your crafting needs met in the town of Unity. But I think just a pure tanner would work also in another small town. I think that would work. Nicely, yeah. Brad the Singing Bard. That was good. That was a great little video put together. So yeah, let's we've got some town names. We mentioned some as we're kind of brainstorming with the regional map here. We've got some town names already. Davagori, Gresson, Righteous. I like Righteous. That's a good one. Clacton, Middletown, Middle Grounds, Targo, Fentaria, Sienta, Stargazer Park. I like that as well. Meridian, I like that. Restone, I like all these. Something's Forge, Twin Peaks. Maybe we'll do a mountain range called Twin Peaks. Hopefully we won't get a cease and desist from the Twin Peaks restaurants. Twin Towns. Let's see. Milo Whistle Pot is the name of the Unity Bard. Yeah, played by Brad the Bard. Yeah, I've got quite a few backgrounds yet, so that'll be good. I'll try to work in at least one a week so I can fully flesh it out. But I think once we get, I know Josh has been working on a couple of maps, and I've got a .mod file from him already that's been updated. So I would say once we get the entire town of Unity fleshed out, and the Unity, and the regional map, the basics of the Unity map, the regional map, I think that's when I'll probably put the first iteration or the first version of our setting up on the Forge. But I would definitely like to have everything complete with the town of Unity. But of course, the basics of, what all the buildings and, info that you can read to your players as they approach and once they enter. And then next week, I'll kind of talk about the format of how, because I want to have a structured format as well when it comes to all of the locations, whether it be one of the locations inside of Unity or one of the locations in our region. But I just want to keep a sort of like a structure to that. So I'll kind of go over I kind of put together a template on paper already of how I want to structure each location. And I'll go into that more next week. So, because next week I actually plan on putting the map and content, starting to put that together, just stitching it together. I think that will be a great time to start it, because we, with the time that we have left today, we should be able to get a pretty good sense of the region and the surroundings of Unity and stuff. So I think that's next week will be a good time to start that. So all right, so we've got some location names inside of the regional map. Tankle Falls, Poland Springs, Sorrows Forge, Hammerstone Forge, Pussycat Taverns. Who came up with that name, Pussycat Taverns? I think that might have been, was that I think it might have been Dark. I think it might have been him. The Frost Mountains. And also, I kind of took a little note here. Do we want any roads leading off of the map to other lands? I would say yes. I mean, it would make sense to have maybe a road going off north, south, east, west in all of the cardinal directions. I think that would be cool too. But then once you leave our region, then it would be up to the game master or the dungeon master to come up with the content on their own. Because I personally don't want to work on multiple regions. I mean, this region that I'm going to be working on is going to take long enough as it is. And it's like I've mentioned multiple times, this is going to be a very long-term work in progress. So yes, I don't want to do multiple regional maps. I just want to stick with one, and I want to flesh it out to the max that I can within the confines of our regional map, which, like I mentioned, should be about 250-ish miles by 200 to 250-ish miles from east to west and north to south. So it will be it'll be a jam-packed area, just like the Nintervale, so, or the Sword Coast, if you look at it that way, or any of the regions within Galarian, because Pathfinder does an amazing job fleshing out their regions as well, just like D&D and Triple Ace Games with Hellfrost. The 13th Age, they've done a great job with their region. I mean, every game that comes out, they do such a great job and put such an amount of time and effort into these regions, and I want to do the same thing for this. Drake says the mines produce digital minerals, so we'll be farming our Dogecoin, and we'll be mining our Shiba coins. The Shiba's really had a good couple of days. Holy cow. I got like 10 million Shiba coins for like $150. It's already like tripled in money in a couple weeks. I can't believe it. So Drake, you sent me some info in Discord. Yeah, I saw that you sent me a message. I'll have to check it out here in a little bit. And yeah, I've got to go back and re-watch the stream with Josh's map making. I got to go back and watch it again. So, but whatever Josh makes is what I'm. Whatever Josh makes is what I'm conforming the content to. So, but I will have to get. I think it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've last talked to Josh. So I'll have to get with him and give him all of the locations of Unity, and then I'll start giving him like regional areas of like maybe a swamp and wherever he decides to put it, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Josh, I mean, Josh is an amazing artist, and anything he does is golden anyway. So yeah, that is pretty good though, Drake. Mining coins for the treasury. The treasury on the forge. Nice. Nice. Drake says, please say it's not bagpipes that the bard plays. So what is it, Brad? Are you playing bagpipes or what? No problem, Dan. Yeah, Bill. Yeah. He sent me the updated file, and I'll be working with that next week. David Lynch, yeah, with what twin? I think David Lynch was what the creator of Twin Peaks or something like that. I think he's getting up there. Lynch is. Drake takes his Deadlands. They have a tavern that sells a sandwich called a Benny. You can eat it for any meal. I like that. It's a great idea. The Benny. Come and get the Benny. I like that. I would imagine they have cherry pie. Why not? I mean, it's too dry for pie. I don't think there's going to be really any desert area in our region, so it will probably be, I'm sure there will be plenty of hydration and humidity for pie. Agent Cooper lives, simple DM. Quest windows into the quest window. Cobble Realms. That's a good region name suggestion as well, Slayer. We'll put that down. That's a good name. There we go. Forge coins, a tiny violin, and thumb cymbals. Thimbles. Is it cymbals or thimbles? I think. Oh, it might. Yeah, probably thumb cymbals. Sort of like on the little monkey dog on the. What was that battery commercial where the monkey with the creepy face would have the little symbols on either his hands or clapping them together? I remember that. That was a commercial from a long time ago. I think it was a battery commercial. I don't know. Oh, so that's what Milo plays. I got you, Brad. I got you. I like that. Oh. All right. So Energizer Bunny, yeah, Energizer Bunny, yeah, but this is like, maybe it was the Energizer commercial that also had the little like monkey doll or something. I think it was a monkey doll, and it was like creepy looking. It was like something like out of a horror movie, but I liked it though. Let's see. So we have some outskirts stuff too for Unity. We have our graveyard. Just got a text notification, folks, from Chili's. So if you are signed up for text from Chili's, you can celebrate the weekend with free chips and salsa, queso, or guac, and it is valid through Sunday. I haven't been to Chili's in a long time, so. But I do like Chili's, though. Chili's is really good. So we have our graveyard. I believe that Joe is going to be involved in our graveyard. We've got our lumber mill. We've got a couple of. We'll have a mine and a quarry and stuff, and then the wizard tower on the outskirts of Unity. So we've got some. We also have that to take into consideration as well. And we'll add these locations on the map as well, wherever Josh wants to put them. I'm not picky when it comes to that. But if there is something that I think should kind of be in a certain point, I'll kind of run that by Josh. But for the most part, yeah, he's got the eye for that kind of stuff. So, all right. So what do we think? What kind of regions do we want? I mean, I know that we have some regional features here that we've already got. Like we've got maybe a frozen tundra to the north. Maybe winter is coming, but I don't think we'll go that route. We've got several large lakes, several mountain ranges. Totally in agreement of that. A possible mega dungeon, maybe. That would be a lot of work in itself. Ancient ruins, swamps. Yeah, I think having swamps, marshes, forest, I think all that stuff should be part, a couple mountain, maybe a mountain range on the edge of the map or something. Definitely things that I want to keep and I definitely would like to have in the region. An island and a swamp. I don't see why not. Maybe that could be the entrance to an old city or the mega dungeon or whatever else I or we come up with. Traversable rivers. Yeah, definitely, because Unity is going to have a river on the outskirts or going through it. I can't remember which. I don't know, but I'll see whatever Josh has. So let's see. Graveyard for sure. Maybe we'll do a couple of other, maybe a battlefield graveyard or something like that. An Underdark area, that's a whole nother world in itself. I mean, that's possible. But that would be an entire new region. So I'm kind of torn with that. Do I don't know if I want to do an Underdark type of region. We could do something with a magical forge and a volcano. I think that's a good idea. For sure. So what else, folks? I think that covers just about all of the different types of features in a region. Maybe we can kind of narrow it down. I definitely would like, I don't know how I feel about the frozen tundra to the north. I don't know. But I mean, if we do that, we could, keep with, do we want the roads leading off of the map, one in each cardinal direction, north, south, east, and west? And we could have a road or, a path leading into a kind of a frozen area, wintry area to the north. I don't know. Maybe it would be a wintry area to the west. Why does it have to be to the north? Maybe it's to the south. I mean, north doesn't always have to be a sign for, hey, go north and you're going to get colder. The climate will change if you head north. So I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know about the, but I'll definitely bold everything that I definitely want. So I definitely want several large lakes for sure. That's bold. That's going to be bold. Several mountain ranges, definitely bold. That's for sure. Mega dungeon, I don't know. It's a lot of work, but I'll definitely do something like that. But I don't know if it's going to be a mega dungeon. Don't expect a mega dungeon with like 16 levels. I mean, that's just going to be ridiculous. I mean, we could do a level and then maybe word gets out that, hey, another level was discovered later on down the line and do another one, etc. So definitely up with I would say a swamp, as in singular, not plural. So I would say, sure, we'll do sort of like a swamp and marsh in the same, kind of like the same thing anyway. So we'll kind of merge this together. We'll do one thing there. Forest, that's definitely no brainer. Definitely want an island in the swamp. I think what I mentioned last week is we will do an island in the lake that is near, that's actually near Unity. I think there's going to be a lake where Unity is. So I think we'll do island in Unity Lake. So I think we'll kind of change that. Definitely bold it. Definitely want that. The traversable rivers with some rapids. That's possible also. So I won't bold that. Graveyards for sure. Maybe, well, because we've already got a graveyard in Unity, right? On the outskirts of Unity. Maybe we'll do like a, like I mentioned, maybe we'll do a battlefield. Maybe an old battlefield graveyard or something like that. So we'll definitely do that. Underdark type of area. I don't know. That's a lot of work. I mean, I don't mind doing some caves that descend down into darkness, and then you can give you can say that there's a path leading off into the darkness, and then you don't know where it goes. Sort of like what other games have done before, and then it's up to the DM or what they want to add in. Magical Forge in a volcano. I don't know if we'll have a volcano. Let's scratch the volcano, the Magical Forge in a volcano. However, up here, let's put, yeah, let's put Magical Forge hidden in one of the mountain ranges. I think this will do. I don't think I want a volcano in our area, in our region. So we'll definitely bold that. Maybe have one mountain range, maybe two. But then again, it also depends on what Josh does as well. So I'll put one or maybe two mountain ranges. And this is all stuff that I'm going to get with Josh with. I'll send him an email this weekend, and then early next week we'll get together and come up with some ideas and stuff like that. So I think that'll be a good idea. So all right, so let's see what chat's got going on. Yeah, the batteries died in the monkey. I remember that the monkey just kind of stopped working. Yeah. So Drake asks, does Unity have a Taco Tuesday? It's possible. I mean, it's up to what the end proprietors want, for sure. I'm going to have to shut my door because my mother's nurse is here and they're just talking and they're loud. So I'll be just a second, folks. All right. Just had to shut my door. So all right. Mythical forests that you always get lost in. Yeah, Slayer, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good idea. Ideas for locations. I like to write everything down. Definitely. Can y'all hear that out there? My mother and her nurse are popping those air bubble packs that you get in Amazon boxes. My mom or my mom's a dork. She loves popping those things. My dad did too. But they're out there having fun, giggling and popping those air pouches that they pack in boxes. Oh, it's good. Ideas for locations. So we have yeah, if y'all have any ideas, put those in chat and we'll talk about them and write them down. Mythical forest that you get lost in. You always get lost in. So let's see what else. 1,000 flocks of geese migrate to Unity every year. It's called the Week of Feces. Jeez. Umbrella sales skyrocket. Oh, that's good, Drake. Mount Kikama starter. The volcano can be called Mount Kikama starter. Wah wah. Nice, Drake. A weird gravity area. Water runs uphill, stuff like that near a cave. It's a good idea as well, Slayer, for sure. Water running uphill. What, the geese are filled with helium? You guys couldn't hear it? Yeah, probably not, because when I upgraded all of my sound equipment, I put all kinds of like noise gates and filters and stuff, so I didn't. They were pretty loud though. I didn't know if y'all had heard them or not. So, bummer. Yeah, but they were out there giggling like a couple of school kids out there, popping those air pockets. Mm-hmm. Ideas for locations. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, folks. And thanks everybody for hanging out, by the way. Totally appreciate it. So let's see. I think, yeah, definitely. I don't know. What do you folks think about the frozen lands to the north? I don't know. I think that's been done a lot. Although everything has been done a lot in RPGs, especially in fantasy settings. So I don't know. I don't think we'll do any kind of frozen or wintry land. So I'm actually gonna. I'll leave that on here, but I probably won't do anything with it. Definitely like the lake, several large lakes. Yeah, just single mountain range or two. Maybe one of the mountain range kind of slopes in from one of the corners. I think that would be good. I just don't think we got enough room, to be honest, on a regional map to do like a wintry area. And unless it's just at the very, very tip of the map, it starts to transition into a cold region. I mean, unless we do something like that. But yeah. I definitely like the magical forge hidden in one of the mountain ranges. I do like that. I do like that. I definitely like that. I like the idea of the mega dungeon also, but that is going to be a lot of work. When people say mega dungeon, they think of like Emerald Spire, like 16 floors. They think of Undermountain, 20 something floors, levels. The new Abomination Vaults from Pathfinder 2, their AP that came out earlier this year. And it had, 12 or 16 levels to it. And then each level being massive. It's a lot of work doing one level of a dungeon, let alone 12 to 16 levels. That's just crazy. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take a note on that. I definitely want a compass, but I think Josh has probably already got a compass on the map. Because in one of our art packs, there's a couple of different compasses, and they're beautiful compasses. So, well, I'm sure he'll put one of those on there. And you know what, Drake? You mentioned that. That is like the first thing that came to my mind, when the Magical Forge was kind of mentioned last week, was how we have the Forge inside of Fantasy Grounds and Fantasy Grounds Unity inside of the D&D 5th edition rule set. That is the first thing that came to mind, and that's how I envision doing some type of quest or something like that. Is how can I incorporate the Fantasy Grounds Forge into the Magical Forge? I think that's how I envisioned it. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So yeah, so with the Magical Forge being hidden in one of the mountain ranges, that Magical Forge will kind of act like how the Fantasy Grounds Forge works in our D&D 5th edition rule set. So yeah, I think that's the route that we're going to go. And I kind of had my mind made up on that already. So yeah. That would be kind of be cool to, have an item that, you could get and it would kind of grow with you. Sort of like, special item. And other games have done that. In both, dice throwing RPGs and online games as well, MMOs. I've seen several items that will kind of advance in power as you advance in power. So I think something like that would be pretty cool. I think Pathfinder 2 in the advanced player's guide, I think there was a chapter on an item that levels with you. An item, I think it was a weapon or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to think more in depth about it, but yeah, Drake, definitely. That was the first thing that came to mind when, last week when someone mentioned, a hidden forge inside of a volcano or a mountain range. So I knew that's what I was going to do with it. Right. As soon as that was mentioned. So nice, Drake. You have to have an ultimate pass to get the forge. Well, actually, you don't need an ultimate license. You just have to have the 5e rule set, which the 5e rule set is free, so everybody can have access to that quest. Yeah, Slayer, that's you brought up, weather and stuff like that. That was one of the first things that I talked about. Well, that was one of the things I talked about on the first day of creating this content. I I want encounters to be memorable. I just, you know, after playing games for so many years, I mean, I've been playing D&D and dice games for over 30 years now, and over 35 years. And I just don't want, I call them boring encounters. Oh, there's just three goblins, and, you know, one per player, or two for every three players, or anything like that. I call those boring encounters. I just don't want boring encounters. Sure, you know, that's what a lot of encounters are, but I want them to be memorable. I want them to be, you know, I want there to be environmental effects in a lot of encounters. I want terrain features to be taken into consideration with, you know, encounters and stuff. So, you know, and I need to write that on, because that's one thing that I didn't write. And I'll just kind of write encounters. And encounters mean multiple things. Encounters don't mean just 3 goblins or 4 goblins, or, you know, 6 lizard men. Encounters mean a whole multitude of things. Wandering travelers, wandering merchants, you know, stuff. I see encounters as a lot of different things besides just, you know, roll initiative. So I'm going to create an encounter section as well, which I think is definitely needed. So, but yeah, I've talked about 4 combat encounters, 4 encounters, including tactical combat. We will include, I knew I was going to mess up typing eventually. I was like, wow, I've gone like 10 words without messing up, but as soon as I think that, I mess up typing. I do want terrain features, you know, like potholes, or, you know, sloped hills, all that kind of stuff. Terrain features, traps. You know, maybe you just hit a random trap and there's a pit trap in the middle of your combat. I love terrain features and environmental effects, such as, hey, all of a sudden acid rain is coming down, or a lightning bolt strikes, or a massive gust of wind happens. That's the type of environmental effects that I want to include. So we'll do wind gust, acid rain, etc. And terrain features, we'll do stuff like pit traps, uneven ground. You know, we can have, you know, moist ground where, you know, you can slip and fall. Other variables besides just boring combat. I also want to put some wandering traveler or merchants. Yeah, exactly, Slayer. Weather, sweeping storm, strong winds, exactly. Yeah. We'll put hail up here as well. I was actually pounced with hail when I first moved to El Paso. 4 years ago. I went outside. I heard something pounding on the roof. I thought somebody was jumping up on my roof. And I walked outside, and there were just these golf ball and baseball sized hail bouncing off of the ground and splashing into the pool and stuff. And I'm like, holy cow. And what did I do? Duh. I walked right out into the middle of it like a dummy and got pounced. I was like, I think I need to get out of this, because I had never seen anything like that. I had seen little pebble-sized hail that melted as soon as it hit the ground in Florida, but these were golf balls and baseball size. I mean, it was crazy. Land of the Lost type area, secluded in a mountain with dinosaurs. And that's a good idea, Slayer. That's a good idea. I always loved what was it, Land of the Lost or something like that. I love that old original movie with the dinosaurs and the horrible dolls, and I mean, there wasn't even any CGI back then. It was just it was horrible. And if I would go back, and I adored that show, I watched it every Saturday for a long time, and I love that show, and I would never go back and watch it again, because just like the D&D cartoon, I would be totally disappointed and say, what am I watching this garbage for? And so I think I'll leave it, but I love the Land of the Lost. That was a great show. So yeah, let's do Wandering Travelers, dinosaurs. You know, and you know, you mentioned dinosaurs. I have a couple of friends that I know that run games, and they hate dinosaurs. Especially, I have a friend, Warren. I haven't talked to him in a while, actually. He hates dinosaurs. He thinks dinosaurs in D&D are stupid. I don't. I personally like dinosaurs in D&D, and it all goes back to X1, right? Expert Book 1 in Basic D&D. Anybody know what X1 is? Don't. I guess you guys will just Google it. The Isle of Dread. Dinosaurs in the Isle of Dread. I loved it as a kid. You know, running from T-Rexes and stuff. That was awesome. So I personally, I love dinosaurs in D&D. So, and X1 was one of the best modules of all time for me. So yeah, that's geysers, all of that stuff. Geysers, just kind of, you know, spewing up boiling hot water. I mean, just, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, we'll put a geyser down there too. A geyser. Dinosaurs in the Land of the Lost. Yeah, it was just, even thinking of that just kind of makes me just cringe on what the graphics were back in the 70s and 80s as a kid. Oh my goodness. So Drake is asking, does Fantasy Grounds have any unique races? Are we gonna have a unique race? Sure, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. We could. I mean, you know, like I mentioned though, Drake, this is going to be a system agnostic setting. So it's not going to be bound to one rule set. You know, I don't want it just, hey, you have to use this with D&D 5e, or you have to use this with just Savage Worlds or just Pathfinder. I don't want to do that. I want this to be able to be used in any setting, or for any rule set for that matter. And that was one of the first things I talked about on the first day of, you know, brainstorming all these ideas for, you know, creating content for this world that we're creating. So yeah. Definitely though, definitely don't want it tied to one rule set. That's definitely not even been thought about. I want it to be usable for anybody can download it from the Forge, and it'll work in any rule set. But yeah, coming up with a unique race, sure. Yeah. So we'll have and then we'll have some other ideas as well. I'll put a section for other ideas. And we'll go ahead and we'll bold this. I'll set it as a header. I'm sorry. All right. Set it as a header, Dave. You've done this before. Custom race. Oops. Custom race for our world. Possible, for sure. Definitely in the realm of possibility. J-Rock, what's going on? Oh, still working on regional ideas and other ideas for our realm. Probably called the Grounds of Fantasy or Douglan's Folly. Kind of like that. I kind of like this too. I'm going to not even mention the ones that I had. See, multiple minds and multiple ideas are better than just one person working on something. So, Drake, you prefer dinosaurs and Starfinder? Yeah, lasers attached to their head. Sort of like Dr. Evil and his sharks with freaking lasers attached to their heads. Cadillacs and dinosaurs on Jedi. I never heard of Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Never heard of that. Is that actually a real game, Jedi? I'll have to do a Google search for that later. Just the river trip at the start of the land. Yeah, just the intro to the Land of the Lost would probably just make me turn the channel. For sure. Hey, what's up, Derek? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm a huge Swarms fan. You'll notice that in the games that I run, I love to do Swarms. I love Swarms. I definitely love Swarms. And in fact, for Encounter, I'll put lots of Swarms because I do like them. What is the shortcut key for copying text? Would just you can just highlight it and Control C. Is that what you're talking about? And then you can Control V to paste it. See? And then you can highlight and then Control J, and it'll put it into one line, even though it was multiple lines before. So Control C, Control V, Control J. You can also do Control A, and it'll copy everything. I'm not too sure on that, Slayer. If there's any kind of shortcut key for, I just use Control C for everything. I just use Control C. Oh, you know what? I actually watched the very first episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 a couple of nights ago. It's cool to go way back, take that trip back on memory lane. I used to love watching that stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning. A swarm of pirates. Yeah, I've done swarms of zombies, swarms of goblins. I've done a lot of different swarms. And in fact, the first time I did a swarm of well, I think it was bullywugs. And I had one of my players say, David, I don't see a swarm of bullywugs in the monster manual. I'm like, what are you looking in the monster manual for? Because my swarm of bullywugs was really, really working over the group. And so one of my players took it upon himself to open up the monster manual. And I don't see, and these bullywugs don't have sneak attack either. These bullywugs don't have any magic. They're not casting magic missile. They're not casting healing spells. They're not baning. They're not blessing. I'm like, well, don't look. Don't look in the monster manual. So player advice 101. If you are a player and if you own the monster manual, do not look in it when your game master is running a game. Please don't do that. Game masters don't like that. Player etiquette 101. So that was an old game, huh? Yeah, swarms of pirates. That's a great idea. I like that. Control J. I gotcha. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. None of your business, you cheating fool. Nice, Drake. That exactly. Aaron, what's going on over on Facebook? Yeah, definitely, Aaron. No metagaming. Please don't. Don't, when I'm running the Lost Mine of Fandelver, please don't have your, D&D 5e beginner box set opened up and you're on the page that we're on in the adventure. Please don't do that, folks. Please don't do that. Please do not. DMs don't like it. DMs put a lot of time into their games. Don't ruin it for them. Player etiquette 101. All right, a couple more minutes, folks. What are some other encounter ideas? Wandering travelers or merchants, dinosaurs in a land of the lost type of encounter, lots of swarms. We'll have encounters with tactical encounters with terrain features. Obviously, environmental effects. I love that kind of stuff. That stuff was really introduced in 4th edition, and I like what 4th edition did with that. A swarm of geese. They're just gonna bludgeon you to death with their big old beaks, right? They're just gonna bludgeon you. Yeah. So let's do a Q&A for the last couple of minutes. Swarms of swarms. Nice, Aaron. That's a good one, too. Swarms of swarms of swarms. I was actually playing I played in a Fate game one time, and I do like the Fate system with the positive and negative dice. I do like that. And we actually ran into a zombie horde, and we all died. I mean, it was a massive horde. It was like Walking Dead size zombie horde. I mean, it was like 5 of us or 6 of us, and like 500 zombies. We just got obliterated. So I'll take a couple more questions. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Totally appreciate it. I think these longer prep streams are definitely working out for sure. Geese are mean, Bell. Have you ever had an encounter with geese? Yeah, I was walking a couple months back, and all of a sudden there's this, I'm like, wow, that's a high chain link fence. As I'm walking down the sidewalk, I had to drop my car off to get my vehicle inspection, and I'm walking home, and I was walking by, I was coming up to this house, and I'm like, wow, this fence is massive, chain link fence. And I found out why. There was a German Shepherd that ran out of nowhere and just slammed into the fence. Scared me. I mean, literally, I felt like, man, I'm in trouble here. And this German Shepherd ran back and then ran back to the fence and jumped. And this fence must have been, I'm 6'4", and this fence was a couple of feet higher than I am tall. And this German Shepherd was hanging over the top of the fence, trying to get over it. And then the owner come running out and was yelling at the dog and telling him to get over here. And I just said, man, I said, you got to keep this dog in check, man. This dog is going to hurt somebody. I said, I'm just walking down the street. I said, now I got to carry my firearm walking down the road. And I don't want to do that because we have open carry here in Texas. I don't want to do that. But I don't want to get mangled by a dog to where I'm going to be messed up the rest of my life either. Man, unbelievable. Keep your dog in check, man. But that's the reason why he had an 8-foot tall fence. If that fence is any shorter, that dog would have jumped over it, man. I would have been. He saw me walking down the road as a giant juicy rotisserie chicken walking down the sidewalk. Man, I was actually scared. I was like, whoa. I was kind of frozen. I was like, oh my gosh. ain't no reason to run because I'm not gonna run very fast, so the dog's gonna get me anyway. So I'm just gonna go toe to toe with it, I guess. Slayer's Armor, all Savage Worlds products usable in Slade. The product description should say if it is, but I think I can't be 100% certain, Slayer, but I think Aki did make all of the products for Savage Worlds usable with Slade. I think so. But even if they aren't, Slayer, we have a 30-day money back, return policy. So feel free, if something doesn't work, you can always contact me or one of the other guys in support, and we can give you a refund as long as it's within the 30-day refund window. So, all right, everybody. So we're going to go and wrap it up here. Next week, we'll break out the maps that Josh has made. I think we're going to go with, I believe the two regional names that I like the most are the Grounds of Fantasy and Douglan's Folly, which I'm actually kind of leaning towards Douglan's Folly. I like Douglan's Folly. So, yeah. So next week, we'll start, putting all of our notes that we've been doing the last several weeks. We'll kind of take all of that and we'll kind of start piecing the puzzle together with our map. So I'm sure we'll have a couple of maps. So, but everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes with Fantasy Grounds Fridays. I've got Paulette and Dominic joining me today, and Dominic is going to be talking about some new upcoming features for Fantasy Grounds Unity, and and then we'll have Dominic and Paulette on this week. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Totally appreciate it. We'll see you next Friday, and until then, happy gaming and stay safe. See everyone in 1 hour.